Hey guys, welcome into Fantasy Football Academy 2020. I am the Dean, and this is the Start Sit episode for Week 8. So, you're trying to set your lineup. We've got the Thursday night game coming up tomorrow. Maybe you don't have, all the information that you need. I'm here to provide you with some clues, and we're going to take a look at Mr. Nick from My League of Record with New Car Smell. That's the name of his team. Don't ask me why. But he had asked for some assistance, so we're going to give it to him. Why? Because we love our followers and we love our league mates, except when we have to face them, because we always wish for them to be second as we finish first. So, real quick note though, and I don't want to breeze over this lightly, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. But I want you guys to be aware that October has been National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's not a pretty topic to cover, and it's not something that you ever want to experience. It touches a little closer to home for me. It's not my story to tell, so I won't get into it too much, but my family has been touched by domestic violence. So I want you guys, if you know someone or suspect that someone is suffering or dealing with domestic violence, please shoot them a text, pull them aside if you can meet with them face to face. They're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can find the hotline. On Twitter, you can find them at NVDN. That's at National Domestic Violence Hotline. I'm sorry, at NDVH, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And it's kind of a tricky thing to get into, but if you are suffering and you are watching this video, please take all the precautions and please get help. Get out of that situation. You do not deserve that. You do deserve better, and people are here to help you. Okay. Please reach out and get help as soon as possible. It's not your fault, and you definitely have people in your corner that are willing and able to help you. So I'm going to be tagging the National Domestic Violence Hotline in this post when I post to Twitter, where you can find all of my content at FantasyDean20. So please, like I said, get help, get out, and remember, we are here for you. So with that said, let's get into the start sit for Week 8 at the quarterback position. Teddy Bridgewater going up against Atlanta. Look, he's available in a lot of your leagues. I believe he's rostered in ours because of injury at the quarterback position. Atlanta is dead last in against the quarterback for defense, giving up 27.55 points per contest to the quarterback position. Look, guys, I know some of you out there are dealing with injuries at the QB position, or you're dealing with lack of production. So if you are dealing with that and you need a good streamable quarterback, maybe you have a bye week. Remember who our bye weeks are this week. Remember, we have Houston, Arizona, the Jags, and Washington. So if you are a Deshaun Watson owner, if you're a Kyler Murray owner, then you're definitely looking for some help. Teddy B can provide that for you. The next quarterback on my start list is Jimmy G from San Francisco. Yes, Jimmy G is back. He's off the bench. He's out of the doghouse. He lit it up last weekend. He's probably going to have to light it up again because Seattle is scoring points left and right with Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and with Chris Carson a little banged up this week with the foot injury and Carlos Hyde dealing with injury himself. Seattle is probably going to be throwing the ball a lot. So that means that Jimmy G is going to have to be throwing the ball a lot. Now, you're not going to be able to get Russell Wilson. He's rostered. But Jimmy G is out there, and they are the next best thing to face in Atlanta. And I mean that literally, because they are 31st, only one spot above Atlanta, giving up points to the quarterback position, 26.42 points per contest. Also, before I go any further, you guys might notice a little difference behind me. See, I got a new chair for the studio. Compliments of my sponsor, Zia of Lafayette. Remember, if you're in the Lafayette area and you need some good food, you're out and about, running errands, running here, running there. Maybe you're just passing through. Plug it into your GPS. You can find them on Doucette Road, down Johnson Street, behind the Grand Theater, and in front of Red Laurel's Health Club. Go down and see them. Awesome food. They are at 75% capacity, so they're able to accommodate in-room dining. I know some places still are not, but at Zia, come on in, sit down, have a good meal. We actually have a $15 no stress lunch. You get an entree and starter, so it's an awesome deal. Come on down, check them out. Philip Rivers, yes, Philip Rivers is my next quarterback on the roster, and he's not facing a defense that is that low against quarterbacks. They're kind of middle of the pack. The Detroit Lions at 14th. They're giving up 19.85 points. And if you are facing a bye week and you're not able to get Jimmy G or Teddy B, then Philip Rivers is the guy to get this week against Detroit. Okay. Sits of the week, and it pains me to say this, and I might be saying this a little skewed, because this guy is no longer on my roster. I'm talking about Lamar Jackson versus Pittsburgh. Look, Pitt is absolutely phenomenal against the run. I do want to show you guys real quick. I'm going to go ahead and share a screen, and I'm going to show you guys how to use the tools that are given to you in your platform, okay? 9 times out of 10 on your platform, you are going to have a spot where it says research. You go up here to the top, click on research, and it's going to give you player projections. Okay. So if we go up here, fantasy points against, click this, and it's going to bring you here. This is where you can get a tool to use to determine who you're going to start and who has the best chance of scoring the most points. As you see, Atlanta, Seattle, the Chargers, and Vegas are among the top 4, and let's just go top 5. The New Orleans Saints giving up the 5th most points against the quarterback, 22.58. Now, I'm not saying, you notice how Nick Foles is not on my start list. I would not start Nick Foles at any point in the season. So you might be able to start Baker Mayfield against the Raiders if you need a fill-in play, a streamable option. But I think that Philip Rivers is actually going to be your better play, because there's just too much volatility with Baker Mayfield, especially after losing OBJ. I know he looked better after OBJ left, but he was kind of playing inspired football at that time. There's the story of when OBJ left, he told Baker to go out and be great, and he went out and he was great for fantasy football. So use that tool, and you can use it for all positions. We switch over to running back. We see Vegas at that top. So if you have Kareem Hunt, you're definitely starting him. There's no question about that. Minnesota, you should be getting Dalvin Cook back this week. Please keep an eye on your injury list. Houston is on a bye. And the Detroit Lions, if you've had Jonathan Taylor on your bench because you were kind of upset about his production, it's okay, I understand, but you can go ahead and roll him out against the Lions, okay? And those are kind of things that I'm not going to flash to you, because if you have Jonathan Taylor, you drafted him to play him, so play him. I'm not here to state the obvious. Now, in saying that, Joe Burrow is on my sit list against Tennessee. Tennessee, very good defense. Joe Burrow, I know he's been doing well, but I would sit him this week if you have a better option. If not, of course, you're playing him. Big Ben against Baltimore. And a real quick note on Joe Burrow, Mr. Nick did draft him, and his other option is Jared Goff. I am recommending that he start Joe Burrow over Jared Goff. Okay. Big Ben versus Baltimore. Look, this matchup is going to be a defensive battle. I don't see either quarterback doing well in this matchup. At running back, you're looking at, I'm going to have two combos here, okay? CEH and Le'Veon Bell when KC faces the Jets, Jets. This is the ultimate revenge game for Le'Veon Bell. 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, removed from being released by Adam Gase and the Jets. Look, I don't know how Adam Gase still has a job, but he does. It's with the Jets. Le'Veon is out. He's going to be out for revenge. And Andy Reid is going to be more than happy to accommodate him. Now, like I've said before, I see this working out like a Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb type combo, where you have CEH doing the work in between the 20s, but when they get in the red zone, they're giving it to Le'Veon. Okay, that's the way I see it working. Last week was not really a good indicator of how they're going to be using Le'Veon Bell, because it was such an out-of-hand game. It was so bad that Chad Henne made an appearance at quarterback, and they went ahead and benched Patrick Mahomes. I don't want his mom to be hitting me up. So actually, I wouldn't mind. So Miss Mahomes, if you watch this, hit me up. I love you, boy, for fantasy. I think he's an outstanding player and a great future for the NFL. So that being said, little kiss of the butt. So Miles Sanders and Boston Scott. Now, I'm not saying that you can start both of these guys, because if Miles Sanders is a go, Boston Scott is going to be irrelevant for fantasy, okay? He might get in every now and then, but he's not going to be able to be started if Miles Sanders is available to play. This is against Dallas. I don't need to say any more than that, and it's almost gotten as bad as saying, hey, we're facing Cleveland. So, or we're facing the Jets. Actually, that's a better comparison, because the Jets and Dallas are almost in the same boat, which is sad to say, and I never thought, even as a Washington fan, that I would be comparing Dallas and the Jets. So, if Miles Sanders is going, then Boston Scott is out. If Miles Sanders does not go, then Boston Scott is definitely a startable option for fantasy against Dallas. Mike Davis versus Atlanta. And real quick, off of the research, let's check this out. Off of the research section of fantasy, we see how many points the ATL has given up to running backs. 24.66 points. I would be more than happy with Mike Davis getting 24 points on my roster. I don't know about you guys, but that's a really good day in fantasy. Sits of the week. You guys know I'm going here. Zeke versus Philly. It does my heart good to be able to say sit Zeke and say it legitimately. Look, he has looked horrible. He had 4 turnovers in 2 games, putting the ball on the ground, and I would have been happy with 3 because losing that second one cost me a game. Yes, I'm a little bitter. Sorry. I'm trying to be better, but I'm a little bitter. Yeah, going up against Philly. Philly's actually has a decent run defense. So let's see. I'm looking down here real quick. Yeah, even though they're giving up 20 points, they rank 7th. So yeah, I'm not going to go ahead and start him against the 7th ranked rush defense. I'm not doing it. Chris Carson versus San Francisco. Now, if this was a normal week and Chris Carson was perfectly healthy, Chris Carson would not be on this list. Okay, because if you have Chris Carson, you're starting him. But because of the injury, you need to keep an eye on that. And even if he is in the game, this injury is a foot injury. He could plant his foot wrong. Somebody could roll on him, and he could be out in a heartbeat. So it's possible that even if he does play, he's going to be limited, or he could be on a snap count to limit his exposure. So you don't want that kind of uncertainty going into the week. Also, David Montgomery makes an appearance on my sit list against New Orleans. I was kind of running thin, to be honest with you, and that's the only reason that Montgomery's made it on my sit list. 9 times out of 10, if you have Montgomery, you might be looking a little thin at running back anyway. So that's it. Maybe you lost Antonio Gibson this week. Maybe you lost David Johnson this week. Maybe you lost like myself, lost James Robinson this week. So those are all good, better fantasy options than David Montgomery. But he is a sit for me if you have him. Wide receivers for start, Cole Beasley versus the Patriots. Look, the Patriots have looked horrible. Beasley has a very nice floor. And when I say floor, that means the minimum amount of points or performance that he is going to generate for you. So he hasn't scored less, and I've been over this time and time again, he hasn't scored less than 11 points in all but I believe one of his contests, and that was week 1. Stephon Diggs has been looking horrible. And even if he's there, he's going to get Stephon Gilmore, their number 1 cover corner. And Cole Beasley is just going to be left to the number 2 guy. And the number 2 guy in New England ain't that good. Travis Fulgham. Yes, I'm pulling out Fulgham. You probably have one more good week of him. I know I said this last week, but Deshaun Jackson got hurt again. And this is against Dallas. So roll him out. If you got a Philly player, roll him out. Brandon Ayuk against Seattle. Look, Seattle is giving up 60.07 points to the wide receiver position. That's, you figure they had, just think that they have 3 players, or 4 players that are receivers. Don't count the running back. You have tight end, 3 wide receivers, 4 players. You divide that by 60, you get 25. So, or I'm sorry, yeah. Yes, 25. Sorry, I had to do quick math early in the morning. Been up since about 3:45. It is currently 6:45. So I've been up for 3 hours. Trying to wake up a little more. Mango-matic today, guys. This is some good stuff. They need to come out with a papaya one. Just a suggestion. Hi, honey. Inside joke. Um, so yeah, Brandon Ayuk against Seattle. Look, Debo Samuels is dinged up again. If he doesn't go, Brandon Ayuk is going to be the number one target. I'm sorry, the number two target behind George Kittle. But this is Seattle. Guys, they're giving up points left and right. They are dead last in defense in against the wide receiver. So have fun getting Brandon Ayuk, and he's going to make an appearance here in just a minute when we go over Nick's team. Stephon Diggs is a sit against the Pats. I know you're thinking, hey, he's been doing great. He's been clicking with Josh Allen, but I'm telling you right now, something looks off. If you watched him on the field, he's not giving 100%. I heard it pointed out on the Fantasy Footballers podcast here on YouTube, which if you don't follow those guys, please go follow them. Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, Mike the Fantasy Hitman Wright. Follow them on Twitter and at the Fantasy Footballers. I love their content. I love their takes. Just so you know, they have not done their start set for this week. They did do their waiver wire. So I think they're doing their start set today. I try to get my content out before that, so I am not biased one way or another. I want this to be 100% genuine from the Dean to you. When I'm wrong, and we'll go ahead and review this next week and see how I did. Like I said, Stephon Diggs against the Pats, and then CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup against Philly's D. Look, they're going with a third-string quarterback, seventh rounder. I believe it's Brian DiNucci for Dallas. If Carson Wentz is not out of concussion protocol, and Carson Wentz. If Andy Dalton is not out of concussion protocol, and even if Dalton does come out, look, the only guy that you can really count on in this offense, I hate to say it, is Amari Cooper. If you are forced to play one of these guys. Deontay Johnson is my third sit of the week versus Baltimore. Like I said, this is not going to be a pretty contest, and Deontay Johnson has been running the risk of being pulled early because of injury. He missed one game because of a back problem. After scoring 2 touchdowns, he did get pulled in the third quarter, also because of injury. Please keep an eye on that injury. If you want to roll him out, I can't blame you. I might as well. I do have him on one of my other leagues, but be wary. Okay. So, tight end. I know. Pains me. It pains me, but I got to roll out Gronk against the Giants. He's being used more in the defense or in the offense, and they're just trying to get him the ball. Okay. Let me check something out just real quick, guys. Okay. Sorry, I missed one of my notes here. My next start of the week, Gerald Everett. If you're missing at tight end and you can't get Gronk, Gerald Everett is probably available in your league. Tyler Higbee was a hot ad a couple of weeks ago. People are still trying to hold on to him. He's hurt, and he's been losing snap counts even before he was hurt to Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett's out there. He's running more routes. He's getting more snaps, and he's already done it before with Jared Goff. So if you need tight end help, maybe you have one of these other guys, or maybe you're missing a tight end this week. Maybe you got Darren Fells from Houston. Maybe you had Logan Thomas. Maybe you've been streaming tight ends because you just didn't go that route in the draft. Gerald Everett, definitely somebody you can roll out against Miami. Jonnu Smith. Look, Jonnu, even when he was out on the field this past week, was a dud. Okay, he's going against Cincinnati. And regardless of who he was going against, I wouldn't be starting him. I would definitely try to pivot to another tight end. If you want to look at someone against Cincy, Frisker is a name to look for. See what the health of Johnny Smith is, and please make your pivots accordingly. Mark Andrews versus Pittsburgh. Like I said, I don't like this matchup for fantasy unless its defense is going to be a low-scoring ball game. Now that I say that, watch them just have a bonanza. So, but anyway, yes, Mark Andrews versus Pittsburgh. He's way too touchdown dependent. If he doesn't score, he's not going to get you that many points. Defenses that you can roll out this week. Cleveland versus Vegas. They have looked horrible, and their offensive line is horrendous. Also, if you have Josh Jacobs, might want to start someone else. So if Chris Carson is a go, then Josh Jacobs is my bonus pivot for a sit of the week against the Browns. Philly versus Dallas. I said it earlier. Third string quarterback, seventh rounder, Brian DiNucci. Not going to be able to get it done against Philly. Philly's front line has looked really, really good, and their defense has looked good as opposed to their offenses looked horrible. Sits of the week: Miami versus the Rams. I don't, the Rams just have way too much explosion, and they're going to be dealing with Tua Tagovailoa as the quarterback for Miami. So how many points they're going to score, I don't know, but Jared Goff can definitely get it done against the Miami D. Chicago versus the Saints. I would not be starting Chicago. I'm not looking for a whole lot of points to be able to come out of there. I know that Drew Brees has looked off, but even as good as the Bears defense is, I think that last week the Saints proved they could do it without Michael Thomas, without Emmanuel Sanders. So those points can be there. Maybe they get turned over here or there, but there's probably better options out there for you. Philly, definitely one of them. If you can, please rush out and get Philly. Get anybody against Dallas, anybody against the Jets. You're probably not going to be able to get KC, but keep an eye out for future use. So that is the start sit for week 8. Real quick, we're going to go give Mr. Nick some help. And once you see his lineup, you will say, oh my gosh, yes, please, Dean, help this man. He needs it. So go to my leagues. And let's check out New Car Smell. He's going up against the Cajun Poodoos. Let's hide the chart. Don't need to see that. You see that his projection is only 69.2. So here's what we're going to do. We've got David Johnson and Peyton Barber. Why they are his starting running backs. I see David Johnson, but I don't see Peyton Barber. So Odell needs to be dropped. Mecole Hardman can be dropped. Unfortunately, he is rostering one of my sits of the week at Mark Andrews. We'll see what we can do about getting some better help there. Allen Robinson against the Saints, I would also definitely sit. Latavius Murray, you can roll out. So we put in Adam Thielen. We put in Joe Burrow over Jared Goff. See, Burrow's projection is slightly better than Goff. We can keep Justin Tucker in. That's going to be a really nice matchup against Pittsburgh because it's him and whoever's kicking for Baltimore right now. Let's look at the players available to him. Remember, he is dropping Mecole Hardman, and he is dropping OBJ, and he's going to probably be dropping Peyton Barber as well. So let's look at running back real quick. Good matchups. Fournette against the Giants. But that's only if he can get some playing time. And like I see, not a whole lot to like here. So maybe Malcolm Brown against Miami. Let's check out wide receiver, see what kind of help we can get here. See the top 4 guys on a bye. Travis Fulgham is available, and Brandon Aiyuk. Nelson Aguilar as well, if you want to trust him. So he needs to go out, pick up Brandon Aiyuk and Travis Fulgham as he drops those other 2 wide receivers. Let's go back and check out who his other running backs could possibly be. So Latavius Murray can get in there. Mecole Hardman against the Jets, he could probably hold on to for this week. Put him in the flex. I would take Allen Robinson out. Possibly try to trade him quickly to someone who needs some help, because he's going to be facing Derrick Henry, Devontae Freeman, Stephon Diggs, Jared Cook, CeeDee Lamb, Mason Crosby, and the Bills defense against New England, as well as Russell Wilson. So this is going to be a rough matchup for Mr. Nick. Nick, we're going to try to get you the win this week, my brother. I will be talking to you later about some more intricate things that we can do. But like I said, guys, work that waiver wire, work those trade options. Go to someone who is maybe hurting because of injury and buy, or either or. So possibly both. So if they're hurting for buys, maybe you could trade, maybe put a little package together. He could put Allen Robinson, Mecole Hardman, maybe Allen Robinson, Peyton Barber, if someone's interested. Peyton Barber as a side piece to the Allen Robinson, get a 2-for-1. Never know. So that has been this episode of Fantasy Football Academy 2020 waiver wire edition, or I'm sorry, start set edition for week 8. I just like saying waiver wire. It just comes out really good. Anyway, guys, remember, if you are a victim of domestic violence, please get help. If you suspect that someone is, talk to them. Ask questions. That's one of the easiest and hardest things to do at the same time. But please, let's stop domestic violence and do all we can do to help that. Okay, guys. For November, we'll be bringing up national, I believe it's Thyroid Cancer Awareness Month in November. So we'll be talking a little more about that. But from now until Halloween, until Saturday, let's keep an eye on that domestic violence, guys, and let's try to end that. There's no need in it. So for Fantasy Football Academy 2020, I've been the Dean. You guys have been awesome. Remember to subscribe, like, and share for me. Smash those like buttons. I'd greatly appreciate it. Y'all, good luck this week. We'll see you next time. Fantasy Football Academy 2020.